I'm Richard Lewis, reporting for cadred.org. I'm here as DreamHack Summer 2013 draws to a close. I've got a very special guest, someone I wasn't actually anticipating being able to interview with LCS going on in the background, but we've managed to collar him. It is, of course, Bjergsen from Ninjas in Pyjamas. Great to finally get to interview you. I would just want to ask you, and it's been something I've been dying to ask any of the Ninjas in Pyjamas players, had you heard of Ninjas in Pyjamas as an organisation before you joined them? Because obviously they've got a huge history in Counter-Strike, which our website's heavily focused on, and you're a young League of Legends player, so had you ever heard of the brand?
I had definitely heard of NIP. I used to be a Counter-Strike player. Oh, right. I played WoW before League and then Counter-Strike before, both 1.6 and Source and some Go. Just Go when I wanted to have a break from League. I still play some Counter-Strike now. And of course I knew the NIP team, and meeting them is kind of like a fanboy moment, you know, meeting Heaton and stuff like that. But they're really cool guys, really down to earth.
Were you any good at Counter-Strike? Serious question. I mean, could you handle yourself on the server?
I was like top level in Denmark, but I was not like internationally. I was like 13 back then, so it's not like I was actively thinking. I went to like the biggest LAN in Denmark.
Was that a slap or
yeah,
was
slap?
Yeah.
Slap.
Cool. Yeah, so I go to a lot of Danish events. I love it. It's great out there. So let's talk about the sponsorship deal and joining them. I know a lot's been said about the former Copenhagen Wolves organisation. I don't want to go over that again with you. I'm sure you're bored to death about talking about it. But was NIP an easy decision? You know, I'm a journalist. I know you had other offers on the table. Was NIP the one that jumped out at you, or was there a lot of discussion? You know, I mean, was there any worry of going to an organisation that was mainly known for Counter-Strike?
We had some other offers that would give higher salary, but they were mostly in the US. And we feel like with NIP, we're Danish players, but we play in Cologne, and they live in Sweden, is really close. And they will come down. The thing about NIP that really made us choose them was that it's like a family. We meet them often. We meet them here we go, hang out with the guys and the CS team. And if we had an organization from the US, they would just send us money, and that's it.
Yeah.
Here we get the
connection.
Yeah, we get a real connection with, the sponsors. We talk to the sponsor deal series. We go eat dinner with them. We talk to the CEO. We have Lee. It's just awesome.
I want to point out as well, because a lot of our viewers and readers on the website will know Lucan, who was a Danish CS player, then he was a Danish CS coach, and now he's the manager of you guys. Can you talk a little bit about what he does for the team?
I would call him the team daddy.
Yeah.
Lucan is really good at keeping the mood up, because we have 2-3 very emotional players, and with him always being like, hey man, let's go have some fun. He's really good at keeping the mood up. He's really good at cheering us up, motivating us. He has his input in the game, but he's not the greatest player, but some of the things we can still think about. Yeah. So, but he's just, to be honest, he just really keeps up the mood, and it helps us a ton.
Obviously no need to keep the mood up at the moment, because you've just beaten Fnatic. You didn't go 0-5. I know that was a big worry in the opening kind of LCS week. A huge victory for you guys, because Fnatic looked amazing. I mean, I watched them play against Gambit. You know, I thought, wow, Fnatic are looking good to go. I talked to them yesterday. So tell me what's going through your mind right now with that great victory.
To be honest, yesterday, maybe the day before, we really had some issues that we needed to get fixed. We still haven't fixed all of them, but at least we got the main thing sorted. And I believe that was one of the reasons why we really actually could perform today. But it just feels really great to win against a team like Fnatic, who went first in the spring season, and they're a really strong team. Fnatic was really they're also top contenders for the summer split. They have really good individual players. They come up with new stuff, like the Xandra top and stuff like that. It's things that people haven't seen before, therefore they don't know how to play against it, and yes, Fnatic are really good.
Were you worried that a lot's been made of all the new teams in LCS have been starting really strong, and you're there with a new organisation, a new start kind of. Were you worried at maybe falling behind some of the new guys, because you didn't come close to relegation, but you were a contender for it last season.
I just honestly think that the new teams took it way more serious. I know that MYM and Alternate have been practicing like crazy. They have been, I don't even know if they had a break. We had like 1.5 months after the relegation. I'm sure they just went home and practiced. They boot camped for like a month, Alternate. We have had breaks. Some of us went to visit our girlfriends, yada yada, you know?
Yeah.
While those teams just practice and they're showing off. They're winning game after game after game.
Does that mean then what you've got planned now? Because it's going to be difficult to practice, right? Because obviously isn't it Moscow next week?
Yeah.
You're out on the road, so are you worried about maybe not having practice time to be at your best for next week as well?
I don't think so, no. I think we have a couple of things to talk about. We just talked about them actually, to really up the efficiency of our practice, which is really the most important part. Because I know some teams can practice 10 hours a day. They might sit and be tired, and they might be doing other things, and they might, just not get anything out of the practice. But we really are going to up the efficiency and tell people what to do, what to practice, what their mistakes are. We're really going hard in on this, and we'll shape up.
Now, obviously, I don't want to hammer home the point, but you're quite a young guy, and certainly younger than me. And you've got yourself a great sort of esports career carved out for yourself. You're part of a team in LCS. There's salaries, a lot of prize money at stake. Had it always been your dream, given your gaming history, to carve out yourself a career in esports, or was it something that was a bit easy come, easy go for you?
I never, until the last year, before I went into LCS, I never actively thought about it. In Counter-Strike, I was like, ooh, if I can make 100 euros, it's like, it makes my entire life,
Yeah.
But I never actively thought about it until the last year. I was like, I'm pretty good at this game. I can go for it. But I never actively thought about it, and it's awesome. It's a learning experience. I can always go back to school if it doesn't work out. There's really no downside to it. You meet a lot of great people, you get a lot of great experience, and I don't see like anything I can lose from it.
I want to point out as well, I don't know if you're aware of this, but everyone thinks you're the star player on the team. Like everyone is like, wow, Bjergsen's sick, he's the best thing about the team, and he's so good, and blah, 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 he can win games single-handedly. Does that come, first of all, are you aware that that's the sort of thing people are saying about you? And secondly, does that put any pressure on your shoulders? Are you always worried that, there's this extra expectation for you to carry?
I know in the beginning there was a lot of, Bjergsen Wolves, I remember Jason Kaplan did, but then they kind of went over to look at the rest of the team. Bjergsen is not the entire team, which was kind of a relief for me, because I'm not the entire team.
No. Because
one player can't carry a team all by himself. People said Froggen did it, but Froggen didn't do it. He did it with the assistance of his team. One can't win 1v5. And I forgot the other part of the question.
Well, it was more just
Can we cut that out?
No.
That's great.
Don't worry. No one will know. No one will judge you. We like to do our interviews all very informal, so it's good if you made a mistake.
I just forgot the second part of the question.
I think you even answered it. I think the second part of the question was just like, was there any extra pressure on your shoulders because people perceived you to be the carrier bag?
I'm not really a guy to take pressure. I don't know. I feel like the first actual big event that I went to was DreamHack Winter. Last season I went to small Danish events, but never this big. When I played on stage, I was literally shaking. I was just sitting and shaking. Yeah. But then after I played LCS the first week, because I just got back from the break because I wasn't old enough, I felt nervous there. But ever since then, it's just, I'm just not a guy to feel pressure. And I think it's a really great thing to have, because I know people expect a lot from me. Of course, I feel bad when I don't do good or when I lose, but it's not like I sit and I'm like, okay, if I don't do good this game, blah, blah, blah. Because we changed the organization, I didn't feel the pressure. I know some of my teammates did, but I just don't feel the pressure.
Is that just a personality trait, or would you say? Have you ever been the kind of guy to get ruffled? To have his jimmies rustled when there's pressure on the horizon, or have you always been a calm guy?
I used to be very I have to perform, I have to do this. That's also why I used 3 years ago. I have to admit I was raging a lot in solo queue, because if I didn't do well, I would blame the others. But then eventually I matured, and it's just not. I just told myself, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to be super nervous and you don't play as well as you would. And I just slowly learned from it, and I slowly got better at just trying to ignore the pressure.
I'll ask you about DreamHack. I know obviously you guys have sort of been here, but competing in LCS, not obviously competing in the DreamHack tournament. But have you been to a DreamHack before? Have you been to an event this big?
I just said that we were at DreamHack 2012 winter.
Right.
Yeah, that was really a nice event. That was the first time we really went to like this big of an event. We came through the BIOC because it was a real risk, because our organization wasn't very rich, so we really had to go all in on this, because they had to get us from Denmark to Sweden, and if we didn't pass the BIOC, then that wouldn't be too good. But like we managed to get third or fourth place. Like they didn't play like a third or fourth place match, and we ended up doing that, and it was above all expectations. It was playing on the stage against former CLGU EG was pretty much the greatest experience I've ever had in esports.
What about the event kind of atmosphere and interacting with the fans? I was surprised because I saw you guys doing the signing earlier today. They were signing stuff for people, and massive queue, like a huge, right round, past Superman for those that watch the video tour. Was that kind of a bit surreal for you?
Honestly, we were afraid that we were going to stand there for 10 minutes and then we were going to leave, because we had said an hour to be there, and we were like, it's going to be so embarrassing. We were 0-4 at the time, and we were like, if we're going to be there for 10 minutes and then go back, that would be embarrassing. But we stood there for almost 2.5 hours, and people just constantly came. There were a lot of fans that have followed us since Copenhagen Wolves, since we were 0-9. There was this actual Finnish fan who was really awesome. It was 40-year-old couple who followed us, and they played League, and they asked us about some tips, and it was really awesome doing the signings.
I want to ask you a question about talent in LCS. I think obviously a lot of people know the established players, but obviously with the new teams coming into it, having been a kind of guy that's gone under the radar and been deemed, a hot prospect or an up-and-coming yourself, are there any players in this season you think we should be watching that maybe people don't know about?
With the new teams, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe someone that you feel doesn't get enough attention in an established team.
I honestly think that Jaru from MYM is a really unique player. He plays in a different way than all other mids, which... Like, it's to be expected what he does. He runs teleport every game, but still he just managed to pull it off, and I really respect him for that. And he's been using teleport for 1.5 years, and he just doesn't change. And it's working out for him, and MYM is 5-0 right now. Yeah. Oh, 4-1, sorry.
I mean, they've been playing incredibly well, so... Is there anyone else that's caught your eye?
I don't know if he's like... I know he doesn't get a lot of attention, but Sora Zero from Lemon Dogs, he's a Danish guy, he's a really good friend of mine. But the thing I like about him is his dedication. I know that when his team tells him, lately they told him practice Cannon. And I met him like 5 solo queue games a day, Cannon. Watch his match history, Cannon all the way. This guy practices so hard, and he doesn't fool around. Yeah. He's like, they tell him practice these champions, and he practices the living crap out of them, and he's a really good player.
So just a final couple of questions. What are you going to be doing in terms of, you talked about things that you need to fix. So what are you guys going to be doing ahead of Moscow and ahead of the whole season? I mean, do you have any kind of special plans, any kind of secret weapons in your arsenal to get you guys further up the LCS standings?
There isn't really like a plan. It's just focus and dedication. Like a new rule that we just made is no Facebook, no Skype, no phone during practice, all day during practice. We have we have girlfriend rules, no girlfriends at events and so forth, so people have their head in the game.
Good rule.
And just a bunch of things to really help us focus. Also, after every game, usually when we scrimmed, I know 2 of my teammates, I'm not going to name who, but they just went on Skype or Facebook and talked to their girlfriends. But now it's after every game. We talk about what we did wrong, what we did right, and we write it down. So we have like a huge book. just we can read up from.
Nice. Okay, well, look, it's been very illuminating. It's been great to finally interview you. I think you're a great team. I certainly liked you guys at Copenhagen Wolves and enjoyed following you a lot. So I wish you all the best for the season. I will let you do shout-outs because I know you've got sponsors. That's Lucan over there in the background. He's like, shout sponsors. So I'll let you, if you can remember them all.
No. Okay, I would like to thank Talia, BenQ, Thor and Steel Series for sponsoring us. Also Orkbite. I don't want to forget Orkbite. Orkbite makes awesome clothes. We have these onesies.
I haven't seen you wear them yet.
But they're mostly for like winter time. They're really comfortable. I love them so much.
Nice.
They're really awesome.
Any personal shout outs for you?
I would like to thank my girlfriend for being so patient with me, because when I told her about the girlfriend rule, both no chatting and not being at an event, she was very supportive. She wasn't like, oh my god, blah, blah, blah. She was, okay, it's your job. She understands, and I really appreciate her. So thanks, Annika.
Should put a ring on a finger, bro. They don't come along too often. Girls who understand games. What a rarity they are. Anyway, that was Bjergsen for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Great to interview him. Hope you've enjoyed it. Do stay tuned. We're going to have one or more interviews as it winds down here. DreamHack Summer 2013.